Did we need any more storylines coming into this one? It's a top 15 matchup. It's an in-state rivalry. Dusty versus Izzo for the first time after Dusty signing his contract, and Big Ten title hopes on the line. And here we are. What I love about basketball is eventually you tip the ball and all the talk goes out the window. So let's put all the hype aside and analyze how things went down in this matchup for both teams. First things first, Jace Richardson. This guy is absolutely unbelievably poised. Obviously, he grew up knowing the magnitude of this matchup, and the first thing he does is hit a step back three. This kid is just something else. Not only that, he was making plays all game, and I have to remind myself that he's a freshman. It's really unbelievable the pace that he plays at and the control that he has over his game and his efficiency. It's just really, really a special thing to watch. I'm going to get back to some things I like about Jace, but there's a lot more that happened in this game. And how about the first half with the way that Cohen Carr hit the offensive glass? We all know the spring that Cohen Carr has in his legs, but Izzo's really been challenging him to use that spring not only for alley-oops and dunks, but also for hitting the glass, and he really came through on that last night. So you could tell that Izzo was able to get Jace rolling early and his guys hitting the offensive glass, but Dusty was trying to get the high-low game going between Wolf and Golden and really expose the advantage that they had in the post. And Wolf and Golden connected on a lot of instances throughout this game in the first and second half, and that's something that Michigan State's going to have to be a lot more prepared for when Michigan comes into the Breslin, because they're going to really lean into it. Their success rate on Wolf and Golden screens and high-lows was extremely high last night. And it wasn't just the high-low action for Danny and Vlad. They were really playing consistently well all night, and Danny was all over the floor and made some spectacular plays. Michigan State's goal was to mitigate the impact of the bigs and let their guards take over, and that really was executed to perfection. And it also really helped that Michigan's 2s and 3s really just all had off nights. And if you're a Spartan fan, you're a little bit too familiar this year with off shooting nights. Michigan State actually had a game where they shot over 40% from behind the line. And there's one person that's responsible for that percentage more than anybody else, and his name is Trey. And Trey had trays in a row last night that put Michigan State in the driver's seat. I especially like this step back behind the back. That was just a ridiculous heat check. Even with a multitude of things going well for Michigan State, it was still just a 3-point game with just over 5 minutes left. This is when Michigan went from playing zone sporadically to playing it every time down the floor, and you can tell that Michigan State's been working on this, especially shooting to gaps in the zone, ready to catch the ball, and then also just staying diligent with the dribble penetration, which Jace had success with on back-to-back plays. Also, Michigan got a little bit away from their game plan, and especially on this possession, there's no excuse for not giving Wolf a touch here. After that, a possession that started with 2 minutes and 6 seconds left in the game ended with just 50 seconds left in the game after a couple offensive boards and tap outs from Cooper on Michigan State. So the Michigan fans started hitting the exits and Michigan State got the W. But these two teams meet again in just a couple weeks, and there's some things that worked for Michigan that Michigan State's going to have to be prepared for in their next matchup. And Michigan State was fortunate to have one of their best shooting performances of the year. So I'm looking forward to this next matchup at the Breslin and see the adjustments that Dusty and Izzo make and have these two teams ready to go for another great rivalry game.
Yeah, for me it was like heaven, like seeing some shots fall.